Hello, fourth graders. I hope you guys are having a great Friday and are doing a great job for your substitute. We are going to get going on lesson 21 problem set. You're going to start with problem 1. I already drew it out, but I'll walk you through how I got that. So we're setting it up with the same idea as yesterday. We have the number we're dividing by on the outside and our whole number on the inside. And we are trying to figure out this part right here. Except now we're dealing with these silly little numbers that make it easier to have a remainder. So let's start breaking this number up to see how we can get it to numbers that are easier to work with. So we talked yesterday about how it's always easy to break this number up by the tens. So 1 less 10 than 30 would be 20. So I'd have a 20 and then a 17. But the bummer thing about 17 is that it's an odd number. I can't divide by 2 with an odd number. So I'm going to take 1 away. I'm going to make this a 16. I'm going to have a remainder here of 1. So this should be pretty similar to the application problems that you guys were doing with your substitute. So I'm going to draw it out and maybe it will look familiar. So now I'm going to have my 2 here because that's not going to change. We're still going to be dividing by 2. But on my inside, I'm going to have a 20, a 16, and then a little friend over here. That's my 1. He's my little remainder. All right, and then we are going to start figuring this out. Instead of drawing a math mountain or a number bond, I'm just going to start dividing right below. So 20 divided by 2 is 10, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. And then I'm going to add these up just like we were doing with the number bonds. 10 plus 8 is 18. And that's going to give me my number, except one thing, my little remainder here. So I'm going to test it. I'm going to test it by doing 18 times 2. I'm going to do it right here. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry my 1. There's my 3. So I'm going to add my little remainder in. 36 plus 1 equals 37. Does that match my whole up here? It sure does. All right, so to show it using long division and the distributive property, we showed the distributive property when we did this down here. So we're all set with that. We have to do long division. So let's check it. Let's make our little house. And inside of our house goes our big number, which in this case is 37. And we are dividing by 2. So 2 goes into 3 one time. 2 times 1 is 2. We'll subtract that. Bring down our 7. 2 can go into 17. 8 times. 2 times 8 is 16. Bring that down. And I have nothing left to bring down, so that's my remainder. So I have 18 with the remainder of 1. And that is exactly what I got down here. 18 with my remainder of 1 left. All right, that was kind of a tricky one. So let's keep scooching down and see if they get a little bit easier as we go here. All right, number 2. Solve 76 divided by 3 using an area model. So I'm going to underline that. Use long division and the distributive property to record your work. All right, let's get going here. To set it up, I'm going to first draw my rectangle. I'm going to put my hole in the middle and the number I'm dividing by on the outside. All right, just like last time, I like to set mine all up like this so I can see the whole thing before I start splitting it up. It's not required, but I think it makes it a little bit easier. So now I can start splitting it up, and I'm going to always start with my first 10 and go from there. So that's going to leave me with a 60 and a 6. Oops, a 16, sorry. A 60 and a 16. I forgot to bring my other one over. But the bummer thing about 16 and 3 is I can't divide 16 by 3. But I can divide 15 by 3. So I'm going to take one of these guys away. I'm going to put him over here. He's going to be my little remainder. I'm going to make this one a 15. So let me redraw my picture here. And I will put my 60 here, my 15 here, and my sad little friend over here. All right, and I'm still dividing by 3, so that's not going to change. All right, I'm going to kind of just cross this off so we don't have to look at it anymore. So now we got to get going with our math. First, we have to do 60 divided by 3, which is what? 20. And then I need to do 15 divided by 3, which is 5. And 20 plus 5 gives us 25. But we can't forget about our poor little friend over here. So that gives us 25 with a remainder of 1. All right, let's check it using long division to be sure we are on track. Draw my house. Inside my house goes my 76. On the outside goes my 3. 3 goes into 7 2 times. 3 times 2 is 6. We'll subtract, bring down my 6. 3 goes into 16 5 times. 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract, 25, remainder 1. Do they match? They sure do. Is it getting easier? I hope so. My classroom seems so lonely talking to myself right now. All right, let's keep moving. Number 3. Carolina solved the following division problem by drawing an area model. All right, so look at her problem there. Which division problem did she solve? Show, that's A. B. Show how Carolina's model can be represented using the distributive property. All right, you guys ready for this one? Let's start with A. Which division problem did she solve? So we know we have to look at all of this to get her whole. So we have to add 40 plus 12 plus 1. If we add all of those up, we get 53. So that's what she was working with. She was working with 53 divided by what? What is she dividing by? Yep, she's dividing by this 4 right here. And she is trying to figure out this part. So we don't know her answer. All right, B. Show how Carolina's model can be represented using the distributive property. So this is what we always do. It's a big fancy word for dividing both of these things by 4. So she does 40 divided by 4 plus 12 divided by 4. You guys agree? That's what she does to find this part. All right, 40 divided by 4 is what? 10. And then she's going to add 3 because 12 divided by 4 is 3. 10 plus 3 equals 13. Does that make sense? Does that show us how we got our answer there? It does, but let's double check it. Let's check it with multiplication. Let's multiply. So that would have been 13 up there. Let's multiply 13 by 4. We get 12. Carry this over. 52, but we can't forget about our little remainder. So we'll add him up. Do our wholes match? Yep, they do. Looks like we're all set. All right, go ahead and flip your paper over. Oh boy, look at all these boxes we have here. All right, so why don't you guys go ahead and, you know what, let's do 4 together, and then I'll have your substitute pause this video so you can go back and work on 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 by yourself, and then we'll check them. All right, let's do 4 together one more time just to get the practice in. All right, so here's my number I'm working with. I'm not going to draw my other box this time. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to try to do it here. So I have 48 divided by 3. I'm going to lose this 10. Oh, but guys, look at this. Look at what I'm doing here. I'm getting all confused because I really should draw this picture because I'm confused already. Because I was trying to change that before I knew what I was dividing by. So I'll put my 3 here, and I'll just go ahead and I'll put my 48 there. because I do need to change that, but I was getting confused. If you weren't getting confused, awesome. You don't need to do this step. You can just wait for us to get to the next step. So I'm going to take one of these 10s away, and that will make this a 30 and a 18, just like yesterday. So now I can redraw my picture here. All right, I'll put my 30 here, and I'll put my 18 here. And let's see, can I divide 30 by 3? I sure can. Can I divide 18 by 3? Yep, I can do that too. So the cool thing about this problem is there's no remainder. On some of these problems, there's going to be a remainder, where you have to add your little box. Some of them there isn't going to be. So this will be a great practice for a review on what we did yesterday. So 30 divided by 3 is what we'll do here, and that will give us 10. And 18 divided by 3 will give us 6. Add those up. 10 plus 6 equals 16. Perfect. All right, but the instructions said to support the area model with long division or the distributive property. So let's check it with long division. Put our 48 here. Divide by 3. 3 goes into 4 one time. 3 times 1 is 3. Take that away. Bring down our 8. 3 goes into 18 6 times. 3 times 6 is 18. Do they match? They sure do. So that gives us our answer right there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and have your teacher stop this video, and you may work on 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, either with yourself or with a partner. Please remember to use a very quiet voice. If you are being too loud, your substitute will ask you to head back to your seat. You have about maybe 10 minutes to work on these problems. All right, go ahead.